Yo, if you're watching this, chances are you felt that just something's off with life, something that you don't feel right. You're living day to day and just feeling like it's just not the life I want to live. And you feel like you're stuck in this loop. You wake up, you go to work and repeat all for what? For a paycheck that can't even pay you every week, that you're looking for more money, ways to make money because you're working like crazy, but you're not making the money that you would want in order to do what you want to do. And you're not crazy. This is the trap, the matrix that we're stuck in. But escaping is not about just doing something crazy. It's about building leverage. And today I'm going to show you how I broke out of the system, and it was two things that I used to break out of the system and truly get to where I want to go. Do whatever I want, whenever I want. And those two things are personal branding and online coaching. And I'm going to give you a blueprint, basically how it is that I'm doing it and how you can do the stuff that I'm doing, so that you don't have to be worrying about money, what to do, when I should do this. Alright, so I'm gonna break these into 4 parts, and throughout these 4 parts, pay close attention to what I'm gonna tell you, because these are steps that could truly change your life. But unless you actually put these into effect, into action, it's gonna be really hard to get that life. So let's get it. Number 1 is understanding the matrix. What is the matrix, and why is it that everybody's living under this matrix that we call? And it's basically modern slavery. It's a system built to keep you obedient, to have you under that system where you're being told what to do instead of how it can benefit me, right? They sell you security, 401k in exchange for your time and your dreams. And to understand that people are actually chasing security more than their dreams is something that you have to understand. Do I want to take security, or do I want to take that life where I live in my dream instead of just for that security? So the internet changed the whole game. It literally broke the system. You can now build your own personal brand from your laptop, from your room, but only if you play it smart and know the systems and know how to take action, right? And the most powerful weapon, I've always told people this, is personal branding. You got to think about it. Attention is the new currency. People want it, but in order to get that attention, you have to have a certain style, right? But when you get that certain attention, then you can convert it into income. People trust people. I've always said that, but they trust those that are genuine. People that are genuine have good personalities. It's not just about companies. It's not about that. It's if you're real, consistent, and offer value that people will want to know, to get them to that 10K a month, to that 5K a month. And then I've always told people this: you don't chase, you attract. You put out the right value, the right videos, you start attracting more people. You start attracting more success, more value. Y'all probably heard it before. I used to work at QuikTrip. I used to work at Chick-fil-A. Every day I would clock in, be told what to do, when to do something, what time to wake up. Because if I didn't, I would get fired. Imagine living a life where you're being told what to do. And you're the person of your own life. Everybody has a different story. But if you want to take control of your life, you have to be in control of your time, money, and success. And it's as simple as that. And I realized that when I was working those jobs, I just hated it. Every day I just was in there, and people would ask me, why do you have such a bad attitude? And it wasn't such a bad attitude. It was just more that my mind was just focused on other things, and I knew I could do better. And every time I just worked there, I thought to myself, man, this is not me. This is not who I am, right? I do need the money, but it's just not who I am. And I would zone out, think about how am I going to do it. That's why I started creating videos on TikTok. Tell myself, look, if I don't start getting my name out there, my face out there, my brand out there, how are people going to know me? They're going to know me because I worked at QuikTrip and Chick-fil-A, or they're going to know me because I quit that job and then build my personal brand, show them the journey and how I became the person I am today. You got to really take the risk and understand that so much time ahead of you to work that job, but if you don't take the risk, you're only going to be young once. Let's be real. You're only going to be young once. You're only going to be in college once. But during that time, it can really determine your future. Whether you drink, party, or whether you work towards your goals and do everything that you need in order to become that future person that you want to. And the matrix it's not just outside, it's also in your mind. You have to unplug from the reality and stuff that they program into your mind. What is it that they told me to do? Work a job, get a security, and make a family. Okay, but that's one option, right? But if you know you're not meant for that, trust your gut. Always trust your gut, because your gut is always telling you the right things. And once you start overthinking and letting other things like the system, the schools get into your mind of who you are, It's more so that you're starting to get programmed by these people that don't really care about you, but they just want you to be another worker in this matrix. And I'm not saying matrix is a bad thing. If you want to chase that. But in this video, I'm going to be showing you that if you're not happy with your life, if you want something more than what you just see in the mirror, this is the video for you. And I want to explain that escaping the matrix is easy, but you got to understand that everything in this matrix is programmed so that you're not thinking outside the box. All these video games, all these, UFC games, they program you into watching that instead of actually chasing your real dreams. They get you tired after work because they don't want you to do what you want to do after work, right? But a lot of people that are willing to actually take that risk and risk losing sleep, their friends, their family, to get to where they want to go, those are the people that actually become successful. Like I said, matrix is not a bad thing, but the matrix is basically programming you, which is why you feel stuck in a loop every single day. So now we're into part 2, and this is building your personal brand. So let's get into the details of a personal brand, right? Your personal brand is your personal identity, who you are as a person, what it is that people know me for. People know me because of fitness, motivation, and being real. People love to see the journey and tag along. And your personal brand and image also attracts the right people because they might be on the same path as you, but they're too scared to take the risk, and they want to see someone actually put into effect to show them that it's possible. This is step 1 of building a personal brand. You're not for everyone, and that's the point. What are you actually good at? Like, what is it that people ask you? Relationships, fitness, mindset. You got to pick one of those and be real with them. Like I said, those talking videos, you got to talk a little bit, but also understand that if you mix those two things together, you can build that connection that many creators aren't doing right now. And for step 2, find your angle. What's your story? Like, my story is Quit Tripping Chick-fil-A, but what is your story? What makes you different than all these other people? Did you lose 50 pounds naturally in 3 months? Did you make 10K a month? What is it that you did? And whatever people see your story, they lean onto that, and then they follow you. Step 3 is start posting daily, bro. Post your journey, your lessons, wins, struggles. I more so say that people relate to progress more than, perfection. They don't overthink it. They just document the things they're going through, the struggles they've encountered throughout the way, and how that's helped them grow into the person, into the lifestyle that they want as well. I say more of along the way you show them how it is the journey is, so that when they enter the journey, the viewers, they see that it's not sunshine and rainbows, but it's also more so it's a bouncy road, and you're showing the struggles of that, and people like to tag along with that. So it's just about posting daily. Platforms, I've always recommended TikTok and Instagram the most. YouTube Shorts, it's not something that I've been doing, but I'm gonna start doing now just because YouTube Shorts is also popping off right now. I've always expressed that you don't need a huge following, you just need 10 people, 20 people that actually mess with you to want to buy from you. This is part 3. It's basically monetizing through online coaching. Let's say you've built your personal brand, you've figured out how to go viral, you've attracted the right audience. Now it's time to make the money. Now it's time to make the big bucks. And even if you build a small following, you don't need crazy 100K amounts. What you just need is knowledge. Do you know the knowledge? Do people see you and be like, damn, I want to learn from this dude just because he knows what he's talking about? He has that conviction every time he talks that whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna do it. Actually, I tagged along in his journey. I seen him become the person that he manifested himself into. I seen the struggles that he went through, and he made it out. So I'm gonna try to do the same thing. And they see that you've had the knowledge, and then they're gonna want to work with you because you had that knowledge that a lot of people don't have. And also you took the steps that a lot of people won't take because they're scared to. It's about packaging your offer. What transformation can you help people get? It's not just fitness coaching. Instead, it's just how I help busy dads lose 50 pounds in 3 months. Things like that you have to sell, but you have to be certain of who you sell it to, right? It could be blue collar people, it could be office workers. You have to sell specifically to people. That's something I always emphasize. You create a simple program for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever, but you gotta focus on the results. If you're not getting the clients you want, you can offer discounting coaches, in exchange for, testimonials, because testimonials is very important. When you're doing online coaching, people gotta see that you're doing good and you're helping people. And then as far as building systems within this coaching, you gotta use Calendly to book the calls, Stripe to get paid, Zoom for coaching, Google Docs to keep all your notes in there. It's just about keeping it simple. And then once you start getting more clients, then step 4 is just raising your prices. Once people get results, you got to charge more because your time is valuable. Now you got more people that are working with you. You know, you start from 500 to 1,000, then you move to 3,000. It's just about having that authority that you know you're worth more than just $500. You're worth more than that. You're worth 3,000, 4,000, 10,000. Sooner or later, your business starts building up because you know you're worth more than just $500, a small amount. Because you want to go from low ticket to high ticket. High ticket, I always recommend people to go to. And remember, coaching is just step one. Once you build results in audience, it's just about how you can scale with the courses, group coaching, and help people get the results they want. So now it's part 4 is basically scaling with leverage. This is where things start building momentum. You get excited, right? You've built that brand, you made money doing coaching. Now it's time to make the big bucks, to fully escape. Leverage comes in 3 forms. Let's start from there. Audience, your followers work for you 24/7. Content, one video could sell you for months, right? And then products is something that is very important as well. You know, course, memberships, all that. You make money while you sleep, right? And you don't get stuck trading time for money. Don't ever try to get stuck trading your valuable time to try to get people that are not interested. You got to turn that coaching knowledge into products and delegate all those to other people so that you're not wasting time, but you're more focused on building that videos, YouTubes, and attracting more clients so that the back end stuff, those other people could work it for you instead of you trading your time for money. And now this is where the matrix starts to end or starts to fade, I would say, because you're not just working all the time, but you delegated all that. And like I said, it's freedom, time, and money that would change the whole aspect of the way you look at life. Doing whatever you want, making the money wherever you would like. Imagine that. And it's possible. People are doing it right now. But you gotta have that idea that if you're willing to invest, if you're willing to do the things you need to do, you can do it. Now, this is the last part, is basically the new identity. Escaping the matrix isn't about making the money. It's about becoming someone who chooses, who has control over their time. Someone who doesn't ask their boss for permission, but it's more so someone that leads, someone that knows where they're going, and they don't have to worry about clocking in, worrying about getting fired. You work whenever you want, wherever, because you have that knowledge and skill. Imagine it. How nice would it be to really live that life that you want, right? You don't need to be famous. You just need to be of use to people. Solve the problems that people are struggling with. What do they not know that you know? That helps you create wealth, impact, helps you escape the matrix that a lot of people just are stuck with. They've created courses and look at them. Infinite money because they know something you don't. You are in control of your time and you being useful to people while also creating that business. So if you want to build a personal brand and make 10K a month, go ahead and book that call below, and I look forward to helping with you. That's going to wrap it up for today. I appreciate you guys watching. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this video. Subscribe. I look forward to talking with y'all later.